I was your best friend. We've known each other since kindergarten. I can't begin to count all the wonderful memories I've had with you. But when you died, I stayed in here for days and cried. The entire world seemed empty without you personally brightening it up for me. I figured if I didn't take a break and clean up your body, they might find me here. You started dating my ex. I tried to be supportive. I didn't want to seem upset about the idea, but you just had to rub it in my face, didn't you? You had to tell me what a wonderful time you had together. You had to question how I could ever leave something so amazing, didn't you? You asked why I was crying. I just told you to shut up and left your house. Oh, please don't be mad at me. I didn't mean it. The next day, I invited you over for a camping trip. The entire weekend just for us two best friends. I wanted to make it up to you for seeming so angry. I wasn't angry at all. I was so much beyond angry that I was calm in your eyes. We've been camping before, so we had a special spot we'd always go to. You called your girlfriend to ask if it was okay. The dumb bitch was fine with it. It would only be for the weekend, right? I'm afraid you two lovebirds will be away much longer. I took a wrong turn, and we ended up in the middle of the woods. Nobody else was around, and it was getting dark. I'm sorry this isn't our usual spot. I suggested we sleep under the stars together. It was going to be a perfectly clear night, and I brought the telescope. You had brought fishing rods, but I guess we weren't fishing in the middle of the woods. Don't worry, I brought plenty of food along. We ate our dinner and roasted marshmallows over a fire. That night, you suggested we use the telescope. I offered you to go first. I insisted. You happily agreed, sticking your eye under it, and you began to point out all the constellations for me. Oh, whoopsie, those big logs of wood you brought for the fire. I accidentally hit you across the back of the head with one. You dropped to the floor, unconscious. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. You woke up on the ground, now bound with nylon cord hand brought just for this special event. I had also duct taped your mouth. Oh, I had no desire to hear you screaming or pleading. This was hard enough to do without that. It was funny to you at first, thinking this was all some kind of sick joke. We had always been sick-minded people, talking about how we could torture people we hated if we could. Oh, how ironic it was my would-be accomplice that was to be my first victim. You quickly stopped laughing when I pulled out my hunting knife. I guess it wasn't funny anymore when I grazed your neck with a knife. A thin trail of blood trickling behind the strokes. The presence of blood caused me to lose control. I wanted to kill you slowly and painfully. I'm sorry I slammed the knife straight into your side. That was when I first heard your wonderful, muffled screaming. I pulled out the knife, blood oozing from the wound. Oh, thankfully it didn't hit anything important. That would have prematurely ended our fun. Maybe that first stab would have given you a sense of emotional pain you have put me through. I had already given an eye for an eye, but I couldn't just turn you loose. Even if you would rat on me and get me thrown in jail, we wouldn't have that now, could we? I cut away the skin on your arms and hands, revealing the fresh muscle and ligaments. I took the container of salt we had brought and poured all of it onto your exposed flesh. You screamed and rinsed in pain. Oh, the container must have slipped. I didn't mean it. I began to rub the salt in. This time your scream was so loud it was questionable to even being muffled. Oh, how this must have strained something. You suddenly turned to quiet whimpering and began to cry. Oh, don't be so sad. I planned this camping trip just for you. I promised you it would be over soon. Oh, are you hungry? Maybe you should have another marshmallow. You look uncomfortable there on the ground, so I think I'll be nice and cook up one just for you. I took the marshmallow and jabbed it with a meat skewer. I then held it over the fire until it was set alight. I took the duct tape off your mouth. To my surprise, you weren't screaming at all. All that screaming before really must have torn something. Here, this marshmallow will make you feel better. I offered the marshmallow to you, but you simply turned your head away. How rude of you to decline my wonderful gesture. I held your head still, but you continued to not open your mouth. You brought a hammer, a metal one. We didn't use it on the tents after all, but you never brought something that had only one use. I slammed the hammer to your teeth, breaking my way into them. Oh, that's too bad. Your girlfriend told me she loved your smile. I stepped back for a minute, roasting a new marshmallow while watching you sputter out teeth and blood. And all this struggling, the first one seems to have ran out. But that's okay. I brought plenty. Now you accepted the marshmallow this time, squirming around in your bindings as I burned the inside of your mouth. What? Don't you like it? I stuck the skewer into your throat, jamming the burning marshmallow down it. More blood spewed out of your mouth as I stabbed the skewer in and out of your throat, ripping it up in the process. I stuck it so far down that you gagged on it, and vomited. Afterwards, you couldn't breathe, so you just decided to take a nap. Your eyelids fluttered shut. I listened for your breath, but no longer heard it. Oh, perhaps I was a bit too forceful with my gesture. Oh, but you're such a good friend. You'll forgive me, right? I didn't mean it.